Once again, thank you for joining us. We're joined by head coach Mike Norris. For those who have questions, please use the raise hand function. Taylor, we'll go ahead and start with you again.
Hey Mike.
Hi Taylor.
Tough one today. If you could kind of just start off with your thoughts.
Yeah, so I mean, we've started the game, we haven't dealt with a set player, which is probably the most frustrating part in terms of very controllable moment in the game. And then I think just based on how we've started to the season, the response to that's a little bit indicative. The lack of confidence has just followed. Then I think we've responded, had a couple of opportunities in the first half to get back in it, which we just haven't put away. And then, yeah, we haven't dealt with the marking on the back post for the second goal. So, yeah, just a bit frustrated. I think we had some decent opportunities. We probably haven't threatened enough. Second half would be the piece. Kind of puffed a little bit, but we haven't really fully created what we wanted to. But yeah, tough one, tough start of the season. But we're going to regroup. We'll have a look at everything internally, and then we'll come back together as a group, and we're going to have to get after it again next week.
And then kind of what was the halftime message? I know just like looking at the numbers a little bit, possession looked significantly better for Portland in the second half. Kind of what was the message or the change there that you were trying to make?
There wasn't huge change in terms of what we had planned. We had showed a couple of clips in terms of what we anticipated, where we felt we threatened them. There was a big piece of when we got into the wide areas in the build-up, how we came inside to try and find the opposite side pocket. And then we just tweaked the defend a bit through the second half. But yeah, there wasn't any major change. It was just reinforcement of what we felt we did well in the first half to hurt them, to continue with that.
Okay, thank you.
Meg, moving to you.
Hi Mike, just in terms of when you started just now, you said that you feel like the team has a little bit of lack of confidence from the start of the season. Can you maybe get into that a little bit? Because Becky was just in here, and I think it's hard to read emotions totally through a screen, but pissed off, I think, would be the most accurate summary of that. How do you manage the emotional piece of the start for these 4 games?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's 2 different types of emotions, Meg. I think you've got the raw emotions right now, which are probably going to be more emotionally driven. And then we get a bit more the heart and the head driving the emotions when we come back together next week. How do we manage it? We've tried to see the positives that we've done. We've tried to go towards the fixes that we know we've needed to fix. But I think this is a space where not a lot, if any, of the players in this roster have been in this position. But I think it starts individually as we all look internally, and making sure that we're looking like in the mirror before we're looking in through the window. And then it's how we come back together and have honest conversations. And I think we need to have them with heart and with brain as well. Like now is not the time to have them emotional conversations. But we need to be, yeah, we have to go towards the emotions. We can't suffocate them. It is part of the game, and that's why, I mean, Becky's a winner. Like, she will be pissed off. It's not what she wants as a captain. It's not what she wants for any of these players representing this club for the start we've had.
And just in terms of, I guess, your own emotions, right? This is uncharted waters, I think, for this team. So just knowing that there is this pressure. I mean, I asked basically the same question of Becky, right? Of how do you set aside some of those external pressures, knowing that, you have this team in front of you and you have the mission to win?
Yeah, I mean, listen, the pressure's there. I think the pressure's there from day one when I got the job. I cannot be driven by my day-to-day and the longer vision, if you like, of the pressure of the job. We've got a belief in how we want to play, how we want to operate, We've got to stick with the process of that. While we do it, we have to review and see what is working, what's not working. I think personally for me, I'm not really a emotive person. There's positives, negatives to that. I mean, I'll deal with my emotions behind the scenes, and I'll be showing up for the team and being there for what they need from me as we approach getting back together as a group next week.
Appreciate it, Mike.
Thanks, Meg.
Any other questions for Mike?
Fook.
Alright.
Fook.
Oh, Fook, sorry, go ahead.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Meg. Mike, obviously not the result that you all were hoping for, but can you speak to us about just the first half struggles? 7 goals given up in the first 4 games in the first half. How difficult is it just for the team just to try to dig out of holes just with the first halves going the way they are?
Yeah, I mean, it's never easy to start chasing a game. I mean, this league, it's so competitive. This is a really tough place to come as well, especially, but there is no easy games, and to know that to get a positive result, we have to score twice. Like, that's challenging. I'm sure it's a little bit deflating right now as well, but yeah, I think the biggest piece is the controllable moment that we've had today from a set piece. There's something, the game is fluid, and if it happens in game, it's how we respond to it, but such a controlled stoppage and a restart, it is tough. But yeah, we have to respond better, but it's how do we then start on the front foot. I think that's what we're all trying to explore in terms of how we prep for the day, how we prep for the travel, how we're getting through warm-up, how we're getting through messaging. We were clear in terms of how we wanted to approach the day, in terms of the actions and the action that we wanted to happen between the actions, in terms of how we drove that. But yeah, we're going to be challenged, and we're going to have to be playing a 10 out of 10 game after conceding early, if we're going to continue to concede to get positive results.
And then, Mike, final question for me is just, can you talk about the difficulty just breaking down North Carolina's defense? It looked like they were structurally sound for the most part. And the possession numbers obviously favored them quite a bit as well.
Yeah, so I mean, the approach we had was, we knew obviously in central areas they like to get on the ball there to exploit. So our defending approach in the get-go was to give up possession, if you like, a little bit on the centre-backs. So it doesn't surprise us that we were out-opposed, if you like, from that regard. But we really looked to hit them to make sure that we dealt with our 2 6s. We had a strategy in terms of trying to get one side being the trap that we wanted to set. In terms of breaking them down, I felt we had 2 different approaches on our end. One was to try and stretch them on the left side with our wide forwards. The other on the right side was to try and pin them. I don't think we quite found the opposite side enough. But when we did look to play forward, we got off the front. And then I would just say we were probably a little bit slow in deciding that next pass once we got faced up in front of the back line. Particularly in the first half, that was probably evident.
All right, thank you.